Conversion strategies. Traffic means absolutely nothing without conversions. You see, often there's too much emphasis in the internet marketing community put on traffic. Everybody is building products around traffic. Traffic is treated as the holy grail for internet marketers, and not enough attention, especially with newbie marketers and even medium to intermediate marketers. Not enough attention is put on conversions. And conversions is what actually takes the traffic and makes it worth anything at all. Because without the conversions, all you have is a lot of people seeing your site that aren't taking action. All right. Ask any marketer who's had a lot of traffic versus a lot of conversions which one they prefer, and 99.9% of the time they would take the lower traffic with the higher conversions versus the high traffic with little to no conversions. Now, when you bring them both together, you get something magic, and traffic plus conversions equals pure cash. And there's no one size fit all type of solution for getting higher conversions, because it depends on your business. It depends on whether it's a website, depends on if it's a blog, if it's a sales letter, offline, online. But pretty much all conversions come down to one key element, okay? This key element is influence, all right? High conversions equals influence. The more influence you have over your visitors, the more influence you have over your prospects, the more influence you have over anyone you're marketing to, the higher the conversion. And there's a great book out right now, and if you haven't gotten it, you need to go get it from the library or buy it for your personal library. And it's called The Psychology of Influence. Okay, Psychology of Influence of Persuasion. This book is by Robert Cialdini. This book is by Robert Cialdini, and it is a must-read if you are a marketer. This book is called Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini, and it is a must-read if you are a marketer or a businessman or anyone who makes a living selling or persuading or marketing. Absolutely must-read, and it will give you the framework for getting high conversions in any business, whether it's online, offline. And we're going to talk about some of those principles here. In the book, you'll learn of the 6 keystones to conversions. Okay, each one of these keystones adds a different element that you can incorporate into your overall sales funnel or your marketing message, and it will just send your conversions through the roof. All right, so let's go through each of these one by one. The first keystone that is spoken of and referred to many times throughout the text is the law of reciprocation. Now, this is where people tend to, return favors to people who they benefited from. Somebody who's helped them out, somebody who's scratched their back. When they are in the position to help someone that helped them, 9 times out of 10 they will. All right. So the way that this applies to an internet marketer's business is that you can do this by giving constant value. Okay, you can provide. I know for one, when I'm subscribed to someone's list who constantly provides value, who constantly gives new tips and cutting edge internet marketing tricks without even having to purchase something, okay, or gives tools, free plugins, things like that, I'm a lot more likely to open up that person's emails because I feel as though they've given so much to me, I can give them the little bit of time when they say, hey, you got to check this out, or they send me an email that says, could you do me a favor? Subconsciously, there's a little bit of indebtedness to them because they've given so much value to me already. And that's what you can incorporate into your business. Next is the keystone of commitment. All right. Pretty much when people, they've made a choice or they've decided to take a stand, a position, they're under some sort of pressure they put on themselves to be consistent about what they've committed to. Okay. The biggest example I can think of this is of someone who is committed to their politics. Okay. A Democrat or Republican. The person who's a Republican or a Democrat, they may not agree with everything that their Republican candidate says out of their mouth. They may not agree with everything, all sides of being a Republican. As a matter of fact, most people have a little bit of Republican and a little bit of Democrat, but it's just the label they've decided to commit to. They'll act on that because of the internal pressure that they have on themselves. Okay? So whether they like it or not, 9 times out of 10, they'll go ahead and do as a Republican should do because it's sort of like a commitment they made to themselves. When you can get someone to commit verbally, sort of to an action, then the chances are that you'll get them to do it. So if you can incorporate this in your copy, and you see this all the time when people have the Johnson boxes where it says, "Yes, I'm looking forward to changing my life tomorrow." It's a little checkbox. There's a lot of psychology behind that kind of stuff because now you're getting the person to read it and commit to it. And when they check the little box, direct marketers used to do it a long time ago with the individual mailing pieces. They would have the customer actually check the box and then mail their order form back in, and it just translated to online marketing. But commitment and consistency is a key keystone when it comes to psychology and influence. The next keystone is authority. Okay, with authority, people tend to pretty much obey. They've been trained since they were children to obey authority figures. You have police officers, you have your teachers, you have your parents, and so if you can project a sense of authority with your marketing, with your pieces, with your campaigns, it's people's nature to gravitate towards you, and it's in their nature to kind of for you to do as you want them to do. And then sometimes you'll have marketers that will abuse this. Be at the big conference and you'll hear, XYZ marketer with 10,000 people on his list referring to his subscribers as sheep. And just saying all kinds of things. If you do this, then they'll do that, and then talking about them as if they're animals. This happens every day. There's a right way and a wrong way to project authority. You want to do so in a way that it's always providing value. Okay, it's always giving back to the people who you're marketing to. If you project an air of authority and you also pile on top of that massive value, well, now you've just positioned yourself way above your competitors because your list will flock to you, they'll respect you, and they'll buy from you. All right, and then your conversion, you can take the same sales letter, and one be coming from you with your air of authority, and the other one coming from someone who just seems like an average Joe who's kind of even scared to have the letter written. All right, the average Joe might sell, but the guy with the authority, the trust, the respect is going to sell a lot more. He's going to convert a lot more. And believe it or not, you're going to see how to do that all within the sales letter or all within the email, okay, or in your blog post. But just keep that in mind right now as one of the most important keystones that we're going to use. The next keystone is an obvious one and a very, very powerful one, and that is social proof. Okay, people do things that they see other people doing. It's a classic example. 2 restaurants on a busy street. One restaurant's completely empty. One restaurant is packed, the line's out the door. Why is it that everyone, including yourself probably, will continue to stack into the line that's full and leave the one that's empty, where they can get their lunch in half the time, be in and out, on their way? Because it's general perception. The perception is the one with the long line out the door, obviously they have better food, right? When in all actuality, it could be exactly the same meal. But the proof is there, the social proof. Everybody's going here. They must have a deal. Their food must be better. They must be giving away free TV. Something's happening. And that's why people go there. And it happens all throughout life. Happens in marketing. This is why the use of testimonials is so powerful. It was so powerful, as a matter of fact, people got a little carried away with it. And I'm sure you've seen all of the people using fake testimonials or people taking celebrity endorsements like Oprah, Dr. Phil, Rachel Way, and putting them on their sites. It's the reason these guys were doing this because it worked like crazy. They were getting crazy conversions. Now, the problem is that it wasn't legal. They were doing this without the permission of those people or were twisting facts. Oprah would say one word like water, and then all of a sudden some site would say, Oprah says water will save your life, for this cancer pill. Or they would say a word like acai berry, and then they'll just twist it, and Oprah never said that. She just mentioned, a general product, and they associated it with them. But it worked, and a lot of people made a lot of money off of that. There's a right way and a wrong way to do it, okay? So we'll go over that as well. But testimonials, social proof can send your conversions through the roof. The next keystone for high conversions is the friend effect, what I like to call the friend effect. This is the fact that people love to really open up and say yes to requests from people that they know, people that they trust, people that they like. And people tend to like others who appear to have similar opinions, personalities, it could be their lifestyle, things that are generally the same. There was a group, a marketing group that tested this and they perfected it, okay? They taught their salesmen to mimic the people that they were selling to. And they put this group of copycat salesmen against another group of people, of salesmen who just did their normal dialect, their normal approach. And the copycat sales group, these guys would go out and they would try to sell copy machines, and they would see a guy, they would meet with a manager, and maybe this manager was from the South. And he would talk a lot slower, and he would pause different ways, and he would use different slang. Well, the copycat salesmen would go and they would start. They were, most of them were from New York City, but when they talked to their Southern clients, they would slow it down, use it not to insult them, not to the point where it's like they're mocking them, but to the point where they're not coming off as some fast talking city slickster. That's how a lot of people from the North appear to some of the people in the South, even though it's just the way they grew up talking. So the people who copy, they instantly generated some sense of rapport because, as they touched their chin, they copied and touched their chin. If the customer folded their arms, if the prospect folded their arms, well, the salesman would fold his arms the exact same way. He would do everything the same way they did. And those reps that were sales copycats, they sold so many more copy machines. Okay? If you can get your potential customer to see you as them, okay? So if you can get into their shoes, and we'll show you how to do this, and they can relate with you, they can relate with, you can relate with them, and they think you're one of them, and you can, share the traits and share the things that you like and don't like about certain products, your conversions will skyrocket, all right? Because that is the friend effect. And the fact of the matter is that more people will just say yes to you for whatever it is that you're selling if they like you. That's all it comes down to. And the closer you are to them, the more similar that the two of you appear to be, simply the more likely you're going to be able to sell to them. The more likely they're going to be able to buy and convert and become a customer in your funnel. Another keystone principle that leads to high conversions is scarcity. Now, scarcity pretty much positions your product or your service in a way that greatly increases its value by making it seem as if it's less available. Okay? So by having it right there hanging in front of the customer's face like a carrot and then taking it away while after you've already poured in all the value and they can see it, they can taste it, they can feel what your product will do for them, then you throw in to your offer, to your sales pitch, to your process, the fact that that offer is not going to be around forever, and only a certain amount of people can have access to it, well, then you're injecting a bit of scarcity. Okay, it's going to be a time-sensitive offer. And at that point, if you test a letter with that scarcity element and you test a letter without that scarcity element, okay, or if you test an offer with it, or if you test a sales process with that bit of scarcity and without it, you will find that the scarcity, the offer or the funnel or the sales letter that uses the scarcity will greatly, greatly outconvert the one that does not include it. And if you use all of these keystone principles, well, you're well on your way for a ridiculously high converting funnel and sales message. So what we're going to do now is break these key principles down, these keystone elements of conversion down into the various aspects of marketing so that you can apply them directly to each element. We're going to talk about how to use these in your sales letter, how to use these with email, how to use these in your blog. And overall, if you can increase conversions 1% at a time in various aspects of your business, it's better than going out finding new customers because you're taking the traffic that you already have and you're getting more sales from it. It's the easiest thing you can do. The easiest thing you can do to increase your profits today is to increase your conversion rate. All right, it's not to go out and start trying to find the latest magic button traffic element. Take what you already have, make more sales from it by making a few little tweaks and increasing your conversion. Remember the example from the video that you saw prior to getting inside of this portion here. 1%, the difference between that, having that 1% conversion and that 10% conversion was about $400, and that would just be a sequence of a couple of tweaks made, all right, to achieve. But the difference between that 100 and 400, I'm sorry, and that was a $10 profit, and that was a $400 profit. $400 difference, $450 to be exact. Increase your conversions, increase your business overall. Okay, so let's take a look and see how to apply this one by one to each element of your business. Okay, sales page conversions. Optimizing your sales page for maximum conversions. What you're going to get here is a proven recipe. Okay, this has been tested time and time and time again for what converts better with hundreds of sales pages. All right, nothing here is theory. Nothing here is a hypothesis. This is our results from what has been proven to work. So what does this mean for you? This is the information that I wish I had years ago, okay? Because this is going to save you thousands of dollars in testing. You see, a lot of marketers have become just too spoiled. We're so used to, now, right away, having everything laid out in the silver platter, sort of, in a clickbait page format. Instant results. I mean, it's to the point now with some marketers you meet at the conferences, they don't even want to do their own testing. They just want you to, do everything for you, and give you, what's working now. What should I do with this? A lot of marketers got into this and perfected their craft and perfected their businesses through trial and error. They didn't have anybody to go to and say, well, what's the best headline to use? What's the best font to use? It was a matter of, let's test this, throw a whole bunch of stuff against the wall, and see what sticks. Now, the problem with that is that costs money. If you're going to do that, you're going to have to pay a lot to find out that data. That's all it is, by the way. When you're testing, you're just gathering data. You're not wasting money. A lot of people say, oh, I wasted money on that campaign. I wasted money on these keywords or on this copywriter. No, you just found ways that didn't work. You gathered data. So that's what you need to look at it as when you test in the future. But what you have here has been all of the data that I've gathered, that marketers like me have gathered, and we've shared over the past few years that have been proven to work. So now you can take these elements and apply them to your sales process, your sales page, as you need, and use that as your control. Your control is going to be your central piece, your sales letter, your email, whatever it is that converts. This is going to be your piece that converts, and you can test other tests. You can have your own experiments and find your new pieces, new elements that you tweak that may work better. This is not the end-all, be-all, but this will give you a solid foundation to start testing against, and it will allow you to get solid conversions and to improve upon them. So the point is to treat this information like gold. As simple as some of these may seem, I guarantee it, if you actually apply them and test them, you will increase your conversions, and that will lead to an increase in profit. Okay? So let's take a look at it first. Page headers. Page headers have taken many shapes over the past years, okay? They've gone from no headers, fancy headers, dollar bills flying everywhere headers, and the trend has design is a finicky thing. Certain things convert as long as they don't get saturated. In other words, some things were higher converting before a lot of people started to do them. And what happens is when a lot of marketers start to apply it, the consumer starts to get sort of a blindness to the redundancy. They start to see the same stuff over and over and over again. And all it takes is one bad experience with one of those marketers, okay? And his headers are fancy. He's got all the the bells and the whistles. It takes one bad experience with that marketer, and the consumer's mind is poisoned, because now he's thinking every time he sees one of those big, shiny, fancy headers, oh, it's another one of those guys. And the next thing you know, you may have the best content in the world. Let's say you have a weight loss product, and it's the best content out there. Okay? It may never get read because you've already been associated with the other crap marketer who really ripped people off. And over time, that's what's been happening. I mean, in internet marketing, for every one good marketer, I'll show you 10, jerk-offs, if you will. And those 10 make it a lot harder for the other marketers. So the page headers that were used, they used to look a lot like this. So let's say that we have 2 web designs here, okay? And bear with the sketch here, but we have one over here that has a header that's like right here, and these both will be traffic things, okay? So this one has a cool font up here, traffic, 8.0, and then it's got like the dollar flying right there. That's supposed to be $1, and it's got more money over here. And let's say it's got images in the background here. That's a funnel, cool effects coming through here. That's what we're gonna. This right here is what we're gonna call a wide header. There was a point in time where this converted like crazy. All right. And they still may look really high polished, and they still may look, top notch. But the better way to go now is to use a smaller header. Less is more, okay? A cleaner header. And this is the part at the top of a letter. Now, if this same traffic 8.0, it would just say something like, let's see, traffic 8.0, and then it may have a title bar here below it, and that's it. And it can have maybe a little symbol here, or not, just a little logo. None of the fanciness. And then the sales letter would start down here. This would be the white space for the sales letter, and typically back here would be some sort of gradient where it was a dark to light all the way down, all the way down there. So this clean approach here takes up a lot less space at the top. It makes the sales letter, it makes the visitor's eye, the center of what they see, not so much here, but it comes down to here, to the actual headline, which we'll get to shortly. Okay, it focuses the page on the content area and not all into this area, and you will notice a spike in conversions if you go from this format to this format. Okay, a smaller header, the top part of the sales letter, this is called your prime area here. Okay, so you don't need to clutter it up with all these murals, if you will, with all kinds of pictures and things. Like I said, it's been done. It serves no purpose at the point. If you keep your header small, clean, modern looking, you'll see a conversion spike. So this is why we say overall page headers, with the page headers, less is more. Also, you want to keep in mind the page layout and the margins. You want to keep your page margins between 650 and 700 pixels. Okay, so what that means is from left to right, the actual size, if this is where the actual sales content is going for the sales letter, and you have a headline here, and then you have dear, yada yada, and this is your sales letter going. This should be no more than 750, let's say. 750 pixels. All right. What this does is it keeps the user's browser from having to go down here and then they'll have a bar. It keeps their browser from having to scroll to see the rest of your message. Okay. So because if your sales page, let's say sales page came out to here, okay, to see whatever content you had over here, they're going to have to scroll, take a look at it, and then scroll back to see the original, and it's just a mess. So, and that will kill your conversions. You want to kill your conversions, add a horizontal scrolling sales letter, okay? Keep it between 650 and 750 pixels. The next thing that you can do for your sales letter is have a compelling headline. By having a compelling headline, this is, I would say, one of the most, if not the most important thing that you can do to your actually sales letter, your sales process overall to increase the conversions, okay? An attention-grabbing headline is very, very important. 80% of your visitors are going to leave if your headline doesn't pull them in. All right, when your visitors are coming to your site, okay, they're tuned into WIIFM. What's in it for me? They want to know what your offer is about, why they need to know it, and what's in it for them. They don't care about who you are. They don't care about how fancy you are. They are simply want to know, because they more than likely were in a different frame of mind. They were doing something else when they discovered you, or they were referred to you, or they came to you from some traffic source, and they want to know what's in it for them. What are they going to get from you? What do you have to offer that's supposed to help them? All right. So that's why with the headline, you really need to reveal that one big benefit to them, and you got to be really specific. Tell them, give them figures, make a claim, make a timeline. One of the most successful headlines that we've used and tested, and other marketers, great marketers from 20, 30 years ago even used headlines like this that have always been proven to work are how-to headlines. How-to. All right? And the classic winner for us is when you combine the how-to and then you tell do X in Y time. So, how to find the guy of your dreams in the next 7 days. How to lose 15 pounds in 4 days or 2 weeks or whatever. Okay, so when you combine the power of an how to and you say how to do X, whatever it is, in Y time, that is a very, very powerful headline. Another high converting headline is the who else headline. Who else wants to make $500 a day collecting junk? Who else wants to learn to play the piano in 1 hour a day? Who else implements that element of social proof that we spoke about earlier? Well, it brings that into the headline directly as one powerful punch. Who else implies that there's other people who are doing it and they can too? Don't underestimate the power of this, folks. I mean, I'm telling you, you have a page that's converting at 1% and you're making X amount of dollars by making a simple tweak to your sales letter. Just the headline. Leave everything else the same. Just test the headline that works. Test one of these proven templates, and you boost your conversion. And it could be as simple as that. A simple tweak. And these are the tweaks that we were talking about. The most powerful impacts on your business with the smallest amount of tweaks come from items that make a big difference. And headlines make a huge difference on conversions. Now, another thing to keep in mind is to use image files for your headlines. By having an image file, it's going to lead to a spike in conversions, and it's going to really get people to allow them to read your headline a lot. It's a lot easier on the eyes, okay? And the conversions see a spike accordingly. You can see here we have two different headlines. One's a text and one's an image headline. They can look identical, except this one is text, and this one has a shadowy effect with a little bit of styling to it. This has been proven to convert higher than just typing, with the exception of one font of Mirrored Pro. By adding a little stylization to the headline, sees positive results and increases in conversions. So overall, on the actual sales page, wherever you can replace the standard text headline with an image file, you will see a significant increase in conversions, especially if you can add text effects. Don't go overboard with it. Treat it like seasoning on a good meal. You just want just the right amount. Add the highlights, red text, shadow background, shadowy overlays, things like that. Typically will increase conversions as well. The next conversion increasing element is the use of sales videos, and I'm sure you've seen these everywhere because they've pretty much all but replaced the standard long form sales letter. You'll see some marketers still sticking to their guns using the long form written sales letter, but most of them for the software products and for the courses have converted to sales videos. Some of them use a hybrid. A lot of the stuff on ClickBank uses a sales video at the top and written video below, sort of a summarization of what was on the sales video. But these sales videos really lead to higher conversions. There's a reason why everyone's using them. Typically, this is because the sales videos, they're more engaging. They appeal to people who are more of audio listeners, okay? People who don't want to bother with flipping through, scrolling through a web page, reading the copy. You know, you can have the best copy in the world, but sometimes it just can't do what the audio presence of a video could do, or just having it right there in front of their face. Okay, people are used to watching video. This is why the popularity of YouTube, the TV, cable, they're used to watching videos. Okay, so if your sales letter is in the form of video, it's going to lead to higher conversions if it's done correctly, which is the key point. Okay, there's a lot of sales videos done the wrong way, and they do nothing but hurt the sales. So, audio videos, sales videos, done from a point of sincerity and not none of that paid actor stuff. I mean, those do convert, but if it's a true video, best if it's from you. We've seen conversions up to 400%, and it's just ridiculous. You're talking about making one change to your sales page, all right, and putting something together that can dramatically affect your whole process without having to do that much in comparison to the profits that you get. Just throwing up a personal sales video can achieve this. Now, you don't have to. It doesn't have to be a Hollywood production, okay, or anything like that. It could be a screen capture. You know, it can be you talking over a presentation like this one. It could be a combination, sort of both. It can have your video in the bottom and the presentation on top. And you know, you can use tools for these that are freely available. You know, if you don't have PowerPoint, you can use OpenOffice. Just Google different, you know, PowerPoint alternatives, and you'll see that it's not a big deal if you don't have the Microsoft Office or anything like that. As for actually recording the video, you want to use Camtasia. Camtasia has a 30-day trial. If you go to Camtasia.com, that's CAMTASIA, and use that to record your screen. And by doing that, you'll be able to record your presentation and play it back in the form of a sales letter on your sales page. Now, you can also use those little flip cams if you want to do the face captures and you want to do, you know, the just talking head type of videos. You can do that, and it'll add a personal element to the page. Okay. You may be asking, well, you know, you don't know what to talk about. Well, basically, the sales video is going to be you reading your sales letter. That's it. Okay? So go ahead and create your sales letter like you normally would. Take your headline, read in your headline, show the headline. A big tip for conversions would be to show on the screen the same text that you're reading. That way they're reading it, they hear you say it, and you know, and they see it in front of them. Okay? And then when you get to your bullet points, just list your bullet points on the screen just like you would in the sales letter. So the sales video is pretty much going to be nothing much more than stripping apart the sales letter, chunking it down, and making different screens for each section of the sales letter. So when you get the guarantee, you show the guarantee badge just like you would on the sales letter, but just by converting it over to video, tremendous increase in conversion. Okay, now in the actual text of the sales letter, you want to have small, digestible paragraphs. Okay, by doing this, you're going to increase the readability. It makes people really want to read on. You really want to go through. Sometimes when we write sales letters, when you're putting together sales messages, we tend to get too wordy. All right, you want to remove that stuff. You don't want to bore the visitors. You don't want to, you don't want to dictate, or you don't want to give them a lecture. You just want to give them, make it on a 5th grade level, and make it readable. If you go through some of the highest gravity sales letters on ClickBank, you'll notice that a lot of them have maybe 1 or 2 sentence paragraphs. I mean, they're very, very small, chunkable paragraphs. And coincidentally, it seems to flow a lot smoother. Okay, some paragraphs I see are just one. It'll be one sentence, a quote or something, and then they start another, leaving that white space in between. All right, so small digestible paragraphs will allow the eye to flow more fluently through the sales letter, and obviously, the more they read, the more their message they take in, the higher conversions you're going to have. So just a small change like that can boost your conversions as well. Okay, knowing the difference between features and benefits and making your sales letter capitalize on both of them will definitely increase the conversions. A lot of people still, even after being veteran marketers and having a sales process set up, don't know the difference between a feature and a benefit. And features, we'll use the example of a commercial I just saw for Axe body deodorant for men. All right, Axe could have easily, for a feature, would be a 6-ounce can of spray, comes in 3 varieties, powder, smooth going on. Those are just features of the actual deodorant. The benefit, Axe commercials reap the benefits. Okay, even though they're not true benefits, it's a good example of the difference between feature and benefit. Because what the benefit is, every time the guy in the commercial sprays on the deodorant or applies the deodorant, there's women flocking all over him, hanging off of his arms. Breaking in, looking in the grocery stores, climbing all over him. All right, that's the benefit of using Axe in their commercials. People respond naturally to benefits. All right, what do they stand to gain? Remember, they're approaching a sales letter with the what's in it for them? The WIIFM. They want to know what's in it for them. So don't tell them that your product is going to, your ebook has 50 pages. I mean, there's a place for that, and it talks about list building. Tell them the benefit of that. Tell them the benefit, like having 500 subscribers poured into their box, in 24 hours or however long it is, and the lifelong earnings that they'll have from those people buying from them over and over and over again. Tell them the benefit of having a sustainable business built on a loyal following of customers or subscribers. These are the benefits. So you want to really go back through your sales process and make sure that you're stressing more of the benefits. And when you're done that, what you can do is you can translate some of that in your bullet points. All right, go back to your bullet points and make them shorter. Make them have more punch. Make them more powerful. Okay, make sure that they really stress those benefits. Use the benefits in the bullet points, not so much features. And you also want the bullet points to have a little air of curiosity. You want the reader to find out more. Okay, you want them to be very curious reading them. Now, don't leave them in the dark and say the secret on page 4 will change your life. That's too vague. You really want to put the benefit in there, but don't give away the farm. Okay, leave a little curiosity in there. You also want to become a storyteller. Okay, some of the best copywriters that I've met personally, some of the best copywriters in the world, coincidentally, are also the best storytellers. The reason why? Because people who can tell stories from the perspective of the person they're telling the story about can make other people relate to them. And if they relate to you, they like you. And if they like you, they'll buy from you. You remember what we said about psychology of influence earlier? All right? People love stories. The more engaging, the easier, stories. If someone's just giving you facts and information, okay, they may read the sales letter, but if there's a good story behind it, people love stories. People love stories, and they don't want to be left hanging. This is why shows like 24 and things like that, when they were on the air, were such hits. Because they would leave you hanging at the very last minute, and the viewers had to come back the next week to see what happens. People like to see a beginning and an end, and they love stories. The easiest story format that you can go with that will increase your conversions is one of these following. The classic example is, I was like you at one time. I've gone through all this suffering and all this pain that you're dealing with right now, and this is what I did, and this is why I'm better off. That format will kick butt time and time and time again. Okay? You need to just go into how you were like them, the pain that you went through, the everything that you've been through, whatever that pain is. It doesn't matter if you're talking about losing hair, losing weight, a product for building wealth, for investing in stocks, any one of those topics. I was once like you. I couldn't pick stocks to save my life. I just gambled all my wife's money. Yada, yada, yada. I was once like you. I was 400 pounds overweight. No matter what diet program I tried, it just wouldn't work. Blah, blah, blah. You see how that works? Then you lead into how you found a solution. Your story needs to make the solution come naturally. Okay? Part of this person's lifestyle. You managed to find a solution, and now you're going to share it with them. And then your way in doing that is introducing your product, which gives them the solution. By becoming a storyteller and being able to tell stories in that fashion, your conversions will go to new heights. If you haven't been using a story before, I challenge you to test a product process using the story and not using the story, and take a look at the results. And the real power in these comes when you start combining these tactics all in one. So now you're using a story in the sales video with powerful bullet points, and you'll start to see what I'm talking about as far as these insane conversion rates. Now, the next thing that you can do to greatly increase your conversion rate would be to use sexy product images, okay? Whether you like it or not, you will get judged by your cover, all right? Your product is going to get judged based on the way that it looks, even if you're selling a digital product, okay? Don't think for 1 minute that just because it's digital, the person isn't expecting to see a visualization of what your image is. And let me show you an example of this. Take a look at this book on songwriting here. All right. Which would you buy? This is example A here. It says Strong Songwriting, How to Write Songs That Get Listeners and Launch Careers. That's a good title. We're going to talk about titles in a second. But if this is on your sales page, you would get a few sales. And your conversions may be modest because some people, quite frankly, won't care what it looks like. But you will get a whole lot more sales if it looked like this. B, Strong Songwriting. The same words, the same title, but you've just gone from this to this. All right? You're talking about a significant increase in conversions by making your product more attractive. And you don't want to stop at just the graphics, okay? You can find a graphic designer anywhere that can do this for you if you can't do it yourself. There's all kinds of things called action scripts. You can Google action script, and you will find different scripts that you can plug right into Photoshop, or some of them that you don't even need Photoshop for. It's called e-cover creators. And you can go and create your own e-covers. And if you have a software product, same thing. Video, same thing. Or you can pay $30 and have someone do it for you. Just Google mini-site graphics, Google mini-site or e-cover design, e-cover graphics, and you'll find plenty of options there. We'll include some in the resources section of designers that you can use as well. But you definitely want to use attractive product images. And then the next thing you want to do is go beyond the product. Okay? You want to use attractive product titles. All right, this book here could have easily been called How to Write Songs. Just an example. All right? But it's called Strong Songwriting, and quite frankly, I think it could be even stronger than what they have here. They can make the title even more attractive. If it was called 48-Hour Songwriting, How to Rapidly Write Songs That Grab Listeners and Launch Careers. Well, now it's got my attention. I don't even write songs because I want to know how they do it in 48 hours. Maybe I can outsource someone to write songs for. So that title grabs my attention more than Strong Songwriting. So if you could add the attractive factor to the title, along with increasing the attractiveness of the product, the virtualization of the product itself, make your title short, catchy, memorable, and use those emotional words. Strong is okay, but you can make it better. You will increase the conversions. The next thing that you can do is increase your overall offer. All right, improve your offer. What else can you do to increase the perceived value of this offer? A lot of people call it offer stacking. A lot of people call it, the Godfather technique, where you're making them an offer they can't refuse. Whatever you want to call it, you want to pour on the value. Make it seem like they're going to lose money if they don't take your offer. Okay, make it a no-brainer. All right. If you do your job and do this well, price will not be an objection to purchasing your product. I repeat that. Price will not be an objection. All right, it'll be something else that you drop the ball on, but price will not be an objection because you will have created in their mind, and this could very well be true, but you've created the rationality that your product is too expensive not to own. That's your goal. Make your product too expensive not to own. What you may want to check out a book written by Mark Joyner, and it's called The Irresistible Offer, and it shows how to sell your product or service. It says in 3 seconds or less, and how to position it in a way that the offer is irresistible. All right, using that as well. But for right now, look at adding value. Okay, look at adding audios if you have an ebook, add value. Convert it into an audio, convert it into videos. Give them mind maps, give worksheets, give webinars, offer long-time support. Okay, make the price of your product seem so insignificant compared to what they're getting that it is truly a no-brainer, and your conversion rates will skyrocket. Now, along the same lines as adding value, you want to add value with high-valued bonuses. All right, make sure that the bonuses are relevant, but get some complimentary bonuses that people will truly appreciate. Okay, if you can include 3 or 4 relevant bonuses that actually complement your main product, you will see a spike in conversions. Okay, if you don't have any ideas for bonuses, get quality private label rights material. Just Google private label rights product. If you have a list product, if you have a traffic product, or if you have whatever it is, you can find private label rights products. But don't stop there. Take that private label stuff, go through it, add your own meat. Add your own substance to it. Get images. Take some screenshots. Take a private label rights ebook and convert it into a video. Okay, chop each page into a slide, and now you have something that it's original. Number one, you've greatly increased the value. You've added your input to it, and your customers will appreciate it. And hopefully, you've chosen a subject matter that's related to your product. You have a much higher perceived value now, and you can give that away as a bonus. Okay, making guarantees. A guarantee will increase conversions depending on what kind of guarantee and how you state it. Okay, generally speaking, the longer the period that you can give someone, the better. All right, the more outrageous the guarantee is, the better. The more specific it is, the better. So if you can say, my 365-day, no questions asked, double your money back guarantee, obviously that's going to be a high converting guarantee because the person's they're thinking, number one, they have 365 days to check it out. So number two, no hassle. So maybe they've tried to get a refund before and it was just a nightmare, and you're stating to them there's going to be no hassle. Just they send you an email and then they get their money back. And number three, the double their money back guarantee, which you can put conditions in, and we've tested this. You may be scared of it at first, but you'd be surprised at how many sales come in versus how many people who actually go through the process of getting a double your money back guarantee. Obviously you're going to have qualifiers in there. You're going to have them do certain things and prove it to you just to make sure they're not a scammer, that they did the process and it didn't work out for them. And in that case, the amount of sales that you would get from making such an offer would far outweigh the 1 or 2 double money back guarantees that you would have to fulfill. Okay, and that's something you may want to test. But generally speaking, the more, the sweeter the pot you can make it. By the time they get to a guarantee, that's either going to kick them over and make them purchase, or make them say, I'll wait on this and I'll bookmark it and come back. And 9 times out of 10, if they bookmark it and say they'll come back, they never do. All right, so the guarantee could be the thing that pushes them over, and you don't want to drop the ball there. Next, you want to make sure you include testimonials in the sales process. Okay, use the testimonials everywhere, as long as they're legitimate and they're from real customers, or if people that beta testers that you've given your product to, use them. You can use testimonials in the shopping cart. You can use testimonials on the sales page, on the checkout page. Testimonials are like beams of support. Everywhere where a customer is feeling kind of shaky and they may drop out, if there's a customer's testimonial, that social proof may just be the thing that keeps them moving through your process. Okay, that one result that somebody else got that they're reading and saying, hey, if they did that, I can too, can be that extra X factor that gives you the bump in conversions throughout the whole process. So with your testimonials, you want to make sure you include the person's name, their full name, okay, their first and last name, and a picture if you can. All right, and make sure that you're very, very specific about the results that they got, and that it's done in a way where it's compliant with the guidelines that are out now for all internet marketers. You know, it can't be a outrageous testimonial that has unlikely results, and if so, you have to state so. You want your testimonials to reflect the average user's experience. So if the average user isn't making 1K a day with your product, don't say, don't post that testimonial. All right, because you're going to have problems with the red tape, and the federal government has regulations now against advertising that gives false. Not false. It could be a real testimonial, but it positions your product in the light that they think is not true to all of the average experience that someone would have with your product. The big thing you want to do is make sure your testimonials reflect the average user's experience. All right, if you do that, you're fine. If you can do video and audio testimonials, they'll be all the better. Okay, 10 times better. They're more engaging. Quite frankly, they're more believable, and they just allows you to connect with the person a lot better by building trust, okay? Because now they're seeing actual people who have experienced the purchase process that they're about to go through, and they've gotten the results that they're seeking, and it tightens that bond with you early on. The next thing you want to do is optimize your order buttons. Your order button can lead to a tremendous spike in conversions, and one button in particular we've tested to the ground. Internet marketers everywhere have tested this over and over and over again, and has seen 25 to 300%, sometimes even 400% spikes in conversion. This order button here is called the Belcher button, okay? And for some reason, marketing trends seem to follow the giants out there that are marketing in the e-commerce space big time, like Amazon. Amazon had a similar colored button scheme, and they test millions and millions and millions of dollars to find out what's working, what's converting, and marketers copy, which would be smart because they're leveraging off of millions of dollars of market research and testing. And from that research came the Belcher button, okay? The color of the button, the glare of it, the color of the font, the positioning of the credit cards played off of what was working with the big companies. And it's not exact, but it takes a lot of those key elements. And this button itself, just as you see it on the screen, has, like I said, been responsible for 25% to 300% increases in conversion. So think about that. Think about the number of sales that can be gained just by the simple tweak of a button layout. All right, if you want to get this button, you can Google it, Belcher button, and there's you'll find it blogs and things where they post it and say that you can use it freely with no license restrictions, and you can test it on your own pages. But you definitely want to experiment with the order process, the order buttons that you use, because you'll find that just with that one little tweak can mean the difference between a small amount of sales and a very large amount of sales with the same amount of traffic. Next, you want to optimize or include in the sales letter some sort of price comparison. Your goal with this is to make it too expensive for the visitor, the prospective customer, not to buy the product. All right, you want to justify it in a way where it's too expensive for them not to buy it. So you just simply start off by explaining why you're charging so much, and then you let them know why they should buy from you instead of your competitors. You can do that if your price is lower, but you can also let them know that if they keep doing what they're doing, whatever their problem is, then they're going to keep getting the same results. All right, and position your product as a solution for that. So if you can make it, let's say if it's growing tomatoes, and they're going to keep using the method that they're using now, they're going to have to keep buying fertilizer, keep doing things, and keep getting subpar, results. They're small tomatoes, so they're going to have to keep buying more supplies. And if they buy your product, they can do less work in half the time, get bigger tomatoes, and cost them less. So then you just position your product by saying it's too expensive. You don't say it's too expensive, but you show them that how not buying your product, they're going to be spending hundreds of dollars more per year, or they can buy your secret report and save hundreds of dollars per year, be more productive, get bigger tomatoes, and So by doing that, now the price, whatever you charge, is irrelevant as long as it's within reason, because can see it in their mind now that by owning your product, they're going to save. They already have a number there. I'm going to save $800 a year just by learning how to grow bigger tomatoes. Oh, this product's only $400, which would be a lot for a report. But now that price, now this is just a dramatic example, but now that price can be justified to them because they know they're going to save $800 a year. Okay, now whether you know it or not, payment options can also affect your conversion rate of your sales letter. Ideally, you should be accepting all major credit cards, okay? Even diners if you can. Some people use diners. Also PayPal. By not accepting PayPal, and there's many reasons why you may choose not to accept PayPal, and you can Google, PayPal problems, PayPal horror stories, and you'll see a whole slew of reasons why you may not want to. But by not accepting PayPal, you can still lose a lot of sales because as buyers come in, they're not experiencing the problems. Usually it's the sellers that do, ironically enough, the sellers that do better online have problems with PayPal. The more transactions that are coming through PayPal, PayPal is really turning to the side of not so much liking internet marketing. They're kind of grouping internet marketing all along with business opportunity, get rich quick type of stuff, and they're lumping them all in one big ball of wax. And it doesn't matter if you're selling gardening ebooks or if you're selling copywriting ebooks. If you do too well at some point, you may run into issues, and you may not. It just depends if you come onto their radar. But you need to at least have the ability to accept PayPal on your site, and by doing so, you can show the payment widgets, and you can increase your conversions just by having the option to accept PayPal. Okay. The next thing you want to do is create a sense of urgency. Okay, creating urgency will lead to a increase in conversions if you do it in an honest way. Meaning, don't say that, oh, there's only 12 copies left and you have every intention of selling 500 copies. Okay, but if you truly have a limited amount of quantities left, then use it. Display that information. Let them know about that information, and you will see a spike in conversions because people respond. You're forcing them to respond for the fear that they're going to miss out, especially if you've done a good job with piling on your bonuses and making an irresistible offer, and you've also positioned your product as too expensive not to own, like we just discussed. Now all that's weighing on them, and the fact that they may lose that chance to get this solution, well, it's just too much to bear, and then they click the buy button. All right. So if you can inject some sense of urgency into the offer, well, now you're toppling this thing over, and you're providing value beyond belief. And the conversions just go through the roof. Okay, it's just ridiculous at this point because now the people, it's a true. If put it like this, if you don't do your job and you leave it up for people to come back on a bookmark, most of them, 99% of the time, they will not come back. Life gets in the way. They won't come back, and you've lost the sale forever. By doing a simple twist, creating a sense of urgency, getting people to buy now, you completely change your numbers. Okay, you completely change the conversion rate. So there's several ways you can do that. You can, you can tell them, hey, I'm only keeping the price low. If you have a reason why, it helps out because now you can say, I'm only keeping the price this low for a limited time until I get more testimonials or until I get the initial beta testing group or whatever it is that you want to say. That makes sense. You can use that because people will want to actually get in early to get the discounted rate. All right, you can give different bonuses for the fast action takers. For the first 20 people who actually buy the product, I'll give one-on-one coaching for a month or something like that. All right, you can whatever it is, you can inject that in to add to the urgency. Just make sure that what you say you'll do, you do. Okay, make sure you follow through on that. So the first 20 people better get what you promise, and they'll keep your customers happy. Otherwise, things can get really bad for you. Another thing a lot of marketers fail to do is establish a strong call to action, and by doing so, just by applying a strong call to action, you'll see a natural increase in conversions. Because if you're not specific what you want them to do, they won't do it. Okay, your customers won't do it. So you have to tell them, click here to buy now. click on the button below to secure your copy now. Okay, and then you can do this all over the place. You can do this at the order button. Then every letter should have a PS, and we'll get into that. But you want to put a call to action in the PS. Maybe put a call to action in the middle of in the middle of the copy. Maybe it says something like, "Have you read enough? You want to get started today? Click here to buy now." Something like that. You've included several call to actions, and we've seen that the magic number, the sweet spot, was between 3 to 5 call to actions. We've tested a lot more. We've tested using just one, but we generally find, and you can test this, it depends on the market as well, but generally speaking, we'll say between 3 to 5 call to actions for a medium-sized sales letter. For a large sales letter, very large, you can go to town with this. You can hyperlink words and be dropping call to actions left and right. And you just have to test the results. And you'll see with conversions, testing is the testing is the way we quantify these conversion increases. All right, so if you're going to do something to increase the conversions, you need to be testing it so that you know you increased it. You can't do it all at one time, or you don't know what's working for you. Okay, so we talked about this earlier. Just make sure that you quantify what you're changing. Don't try to change everything at once. Test the Belcher button versus the regular pink button that you were using, or whatever it was. All right, test your control page as is, then add several call to actions and see what happens. What I'm giving you here in this system is the results of all the testing that we've done that you can start from, and you can save yourself some money because it's proven to work time and time again. Now you can take that information and test it against other tweaks that you make. All right, so this is your starting point. Another way to add to your conversion rate and give it a boost is to add trust badges, trust seals. These are seals that you can add to your site that build a stronger trust. They assure your customer and kind of calm them down if they're kind of nervous about buying from you. It lets them know that, hey, he's not going to run with my money. He's gone through the process of being verified, so to speak, and it just adds, and you'll see a boost in conversions depending on what kind of trust badges you use. And there's a lot of them. You can Google different things, trust seals, honest online, things like that, and they'll find different trust badge, trust seal programs that will give you verifiable trust badges to add to your site and add to your sales page. Another thing you can do to greatly increase the conversion would be to simply increase your shopping cart optimization. Okay, if you can reduce the shopping cart, what they call shopping cart abandonment, you can increase your conversions. You may not know this, but more than 50% of the people who actually click your order button end up not buying. I know I was shocked by this when I discovered it with a little tracking that we did. So what you need to do is, kind of restate your guarantee right before your order. Let the people know that they'll get their money back if they're not satisfied. Okay, include some testimonials right there as they're going through the order process. Okay, and then you want to go and just emphasize the sense of urgency that you stated earlier in the sales letter. All these things combined will go towards reducing the amount of people that drop off at the shopping cart. As you see here on the screen, what you can do is alter the process altogether and change it from maybe just a one-step process into a three-step process. All right, ask for the name or their email first, so that what happens is you can follow up with the people who drop off. So instead of just having them go into the cart without entering an email, you can say enter the email and then click the order button. So from there, they'll go to the order information page, like their name, their address, their credit card information, and so on. If they decide to back off after this point, well, you have their name and you can follow up with those people because they were close enough to buying, but something just freaked them out, or they didn't make the purchase. So now you can follow up with them. Then after they enter their order information, they'll receive their purchase. Okay. Just by doing that, you'll take some of the 50% that would have dropped off, and you'll boost your sales and your conversions because you can follow up with them again, and you can keep the ones that would have dropped off. You can assure them about the process right before they drop off, and they actually become customers. Next, you can find ways to capture the exit traffic. All right, and this is with exit pop-ups. These are the boxes that pop up when your customer is thinking about leaving the page, or potential customers thinking about leaving the page. You can have a box pop up, and what happens is you provide an opt-in box so that you get people to opt into the list no matter what. All right, you have to kind of bribe them in, give them a good reason to opt into the list. So you'll get these subscribers that you can follow up with them, send them promotional emails, because a lot of people just won't buy the first time they see a site. They'll try to, go up to the browser and go to the bookmark, and as they do this, you can pile on the sense of urgency, and you can capture their name and their email. All right, and you see here we have, this is just an example, a random example we pulled off the web, where we try to leave a site, and then it has an animated arrow directing someone to the email box. It says warning, and it calls out a certain group of people, and makes a little the promise to actually give them some information for free. And it does a fairly decent job of hanging the carrot in front of the actual visitor, and getting them to take action by putting their email address in the box below if they try to exit the site. So if they're going, they're pressing the back button, well, they're going to get this page first. So overall, you can apply these tactics. You can test them one at a time and monitor the gradual increase in your conversions. I wouldn't go and throw them all in at one time. You can, but you should start with a control like we spoke with earlier, and then you want to go into trying to add different elements one by one, and just track the conversion increase. Okay, slowly but surely you'll find the conversion doubling, and it'll get to the point where it's just a completely different process than what you started with. All right, you can have the same amount of traffic, but your sales will be through the roof compared to where you were, just because you've monetized that traffic better, and you've actually optimized your page, I should say, to convert better using all the different tactics that you've learned. All right, but you have to track, or you're doing everything for nothing. You won't have any data to tell you what's been working for your niche and what's not. Now what you do have is a proven track record of all the different tweaks that you can make that will have the biggest impact. You always want to go with the tweaks that would have the biggest impact first, and then test the smaller things later. And you have these big impact items here that we've just gone over. Okay, affiliate conversions, optimizing your affiliate offers for maximum conversions. A lot of times marketers ask, well, what are some tweaks that I can make with my affiliate process? I don't really have a product yet, or you may not even have your own funnel, but you want to optimize and apply some of the tactics to get higher conversions for your affiliate offers, okay, and to get more commissions. Well, these, which you'll see next, these are a few tactics and techniques that you can use directly to dramatically increase your affiliate conversions. Okay, just like with any other conversion testing, you want to test the control versus sort of your experiment. So whatever process that you're doing now, you want to test it against what you're about to learn, and then monitor the results. All right. The absolute key to increasing affiliate conversions is pre-sell, pre-sell, pre-sell. Your entire job should be to pre-sell. Okay, you're not selling, you're pre-selling. Okay, you're priming the pump. You're getting the customer ready to click the buy button. Depending on how good of a job you do pre-selling, the visitor, I should say, may not even need to see the merchant's page. Okay, you may have pre-sold them so well that you can technically go from your affiliate review, all right, directly to a merchant page. That is some effective pre-selling, and we see it all happen all the time. Sometimes merchants' products are great, and their sales process stinks. And then a savvy affiliate can come along and do a great job pre-selling and send the people directly to the checkout and skipping over the merchant's crappy sales page altogether. This is what we like to call the pre-sell page blueprint. All right. If you're going to do a pre-sell page and you're going to do it right, it should include these things: information about what the product is. All right. Tell exactly what the product is. Number two, tell who can benefit from the product most. Kind of relate with the reader, the visitor, and tell them exactly who this is for. Number three, tell them why they should get it. Why do they need this? All right. Give them specific reasons. The more specific you are, the better. And then you want to get them, number four, to take action. So you give them a call to action. To apply this system, click this link. One of the best ways to do this is to give them sort of a how-to. So if you know there's a great product, okay, out there on, let's say, fly fishing, give them good information on fly fishing and build it all around them using a certain lure, okay? And tell them how, most fly fishers don't know the number one reason why they're not getting big catches is because they're not tying the lure in a specific way or whatever. And then you give all these instructions about tying the lure, and then you go into, and the number one secret is choosing the right lure, and that's why they need this product, which chooses the lure for them based on their location. You know, I don't fly fish, so whatever, but you get the point. You make the product a part of the process that you're teaching them how to do. If you can seamlessly integrate the product into something that you're teaching them how to do, well, it just makes purchasing the next obvious choice. All right. So if it's a book, if it's on how to make $100 a day using Google AdSense, and you're telling them how to do, you know, how to find the right niche, how to do this, how to do that, and the last thing in the step would be for you to go out and use this template because it gets the best conversion rate for AdSense templates. Okay, so now that person could be selling templates that they're an affiliate of, and they basically injected it into the process of them teaching them how to do something. So if you can take the affiliate product that you're promoting and you can weave that in to one of the steps or something that you're telling them how to do, then, or something that they're going to benefit from, then it just makes purchasing that product, like I said, the next logical thing. If you do that, you can sell anything. In this process, you want to share your results, okay? And maybe you can start your how-to off with something, your results with the product, your thoughts. You know, you applied the product this way, and you got these results. And at the end of your how-to, that will dramatically increase your conversions. Also, you want to remove some of the mystery. As an affiliate, remove some of the mystery of the purchase. Record yourself buying the product. This not many people do this, and if you do this, you'll set yourself apart, and you'll see what a difference it makes in terms of how many people buy from your affiliate link. So show yourself going to ClickBank, wherever it is, purchasing the product. Don't give away the product. You know, if there's some secret that can be seen in one page, don't just show the one thing so they don't have to go buy it. But show that have them witness you buying it. Show them the back office. Show them what's behind the scenes, what happens when you download it. Maybe even open the book up if it's an ebook and show them the table of content of what they're about to get. Show them if it's a membership area. Show yourself logging in, and show them the different areas of the membership, kind of like a guide walkthrough. If you doing that, which I think the product owner should have done anyway. But just by you doing that, it kind of walks them through, eases them into it, and removes some of the discomfort from the mystery of not knowing what's on the other side of this purchase. And that will get a lot more people to purchase from you through your link. Next, you want to create your own bonuses. All right. If you can add to somebody's offer as an affiliate, so if it's a product on let's say generating traffic, okay, you can do a bonus on SEO, getting natural traffic. You know, for example, if it's a product on paid traffic, well, maybe your bonus is on free traffic, and you let them know, you know, one of the best ways to take paid traffic and to know what keywords actually convert and take those and optimize for those and turn those into organic pages that get natural traffic that converts the best for you, right? So you can give them you're making a bonus that goes along with what they're already buying, and then you want to position your bonus almost in a way that the main product really is like the missing piece of the puzzle. I think the product creator needed to include what you want to give them to make it complete, and nobody else can get it except someone who buys through your link. So you're kind of cornering the market now, and you're funneling the demand for the product through you as an affiliate, and that means more sales, more conversions. All right, so think hard and spend some time with that, and figure a way. Look at some private label material, look at what other people are offering, and see if you can put together a bonus in limited quantities, because you're going to introduce some of that scarcity that you've learned about, and you want to make this bonus, like I said, the missing piece that allows them to get more out of what they're about to buy. All right, by doing that, like I said, then it'll just people will know your offer, your affiliate offer, and will come to you as if you're the product owner and for your link. Using this tactic is very, very powerful, and we've even had people who purchase the product normally come back to us and say, "Well, can I get your bonuses? Can I pay you for your bonuses? Because I need those videos to go with this purchase." You know, and at that point, it's up to you what you want to do with that. But definitely create your own bonuses. Okay, you have gone through a lot of different conversion tactics, and it's easy to get overwhelmed. All right, What you need to keep in mind is that you are a paid tester. You want to be someone who has the mentality of you love testing. You want to fall in love with testing. If you fall in love with testing, you'll fall in love with profits because they go hand in hand. As a tester, you're testing different things in your sales process, in your affiliate process, in your marketing process that work and don't work. There's no such thing as a failed test, okay? Because you're just getting data. You're gathering data. So even if you try adding the animated arrow and for some reason for your market, maybe they've seen that too much and it doesn't work. That's just one piece of data that you know now that you want to go a different way. So you're going to tweak and try something else from the conversion tactics. Then you go ahead and you try the fake video squeeze page and you see that conversions go through the roof. Well, now you know your combination is going to be the fake video squeeze with the blue arrows pointing down or a non-blinking arrow. You know, gather data, test everything. If you're not testing, you're not marketing. And that's the bottom line. All right? So you want to quantify and test. And remember, if you test things one at a time and you have a control and then you just keep getting this, the test just keeps beating the pants off the control, guess what? That's your new control. Dump the old one. Now you have a new control. So you've gone from a 2 to a 4% conversion rate. Now you're converting at 4% consistently. What are you going to do now? You're not going to be complacent. You're going to test some more. Okay? So test some more. So get that 4%. Test different headlines. Test colors. Test everything that we've shown you. Test testimonials in the shopping cart. Okay? Test the 3-step shopping cart that you learned about. If you go from a 4 to a 6, and this test is beating the pants off of that control, what are you going to do? You dump the control, and that's your new control. Now you're at a 6% conversion rate. And then rinse and repeat. All right? That's how you get to a 10% conversion rate. Now, sometimes you get lucky and you get the perfect combination right away, and boom, you go from a 2 to a 10% conversion rate. But remember what we said earlier on in this course. The formula was traffic plus conversions equals cash. The traffic's going to already be there. Traffic's everywhere. All right? It's the people who know how to convert the traffic that profit the most. Okay? So what you need to do now is go through your sales process from top to bottom and start looking at what you're doing and what you're not doing in comparison to what you just learned. And then make an itemized list of the things that have the biggest effect on your business to the smallest effect. And I told you some of the ones that had the biggest effect. You can go in and test immediately and start with those. All right? And get that initial boost in conversions. Before you know it, you'll have a high converting machine, a well-oiled machine that produces profits, that gets results for you unlike anything that you've done before. With that said, take action and take care.